Hi everyone, Carol here. I just thought I'd share my ideas with a Christmas cake, quick and easy, with all the Christmas trees and all the lovely cutouts that we sometimes think we have a bit of trouble. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, I've covered my cake with a nice blue icing, as you can see, and covered the board. And on the side here I've got all my things that I need to decorate it with. I've cut my paste out and covered it so it's ready rolled. I've got some corn flour in my little dabber duster, and then this is me Merry Christmas. So pop on here, making sure none of that corn flour is underneath. Put your fingers all the way across, making sure it's well cut out. Push and like so. And then if you pull away, you can see that it's mostly cut for you. So pop that over there, turn it over, and take your, my knife and scriber, if you find when you're just going to do your knife and scriber and you're going to take your little pieces out, if it starts to come out too easy for you, I tend to just push my rolling pin across the top like that. Then as you pick, all the pieces that you don't need should come out fairly easy for you without disturbing what you want to keep. So little piece at a time. Doesn't take that long to do really. I quite often keep all my little pieces. I always keep all my little pieces because they will make flowers and things later if you want. So, and I think when you do all this, you start to see your shape and coming up, and there's little tiny pieces here. Don't forget them, okay? Because they make a difference when you see the end result. So you've got this. Pop all your pieces over here, and I just tap one side and out it pops. I take a piece of curved paper, which I've got over here. Just curve it, just roll it and curve it, and it will do whatever you want it to do, like so. Put that in there, either on the inside or on the outside. Just make sure all your lettering is nice and straight where you want it, and leave it to dry. So I like to dry that, and I like to make that one out of flour paste. Okay, so that's that first piece. The second piece I have here, I'm going to just take a little knife and cut along, because I want to make some snowflakes, and I want these to dry off as well. So as I cut and pull, snowflake is in, and I've got on here my red pad. If you tap, if I do it this way, you might be able to see it better. If you tap like so hard, you've got your snowflake out. If you have all your little tiny pieces, and you can take them out from here, or you can take them when they're inside. But look how easy they are to come out. Okay, keep all them and cut however many you need, 3, 4. Now, if you want these to stand, they're best cut and left to dry. But if you want them then to just go on the side of the cake, see, look, most of the time the whole thing pops out for you, lovely and clean, and you don't have to worry about tidying off the inside of it at all. Right, and again, 1, 2, 3, and then that little piece come out. There we are. So these are my drying off pieces. That's 2. And my third drying off piece is my Christmas tree. You want your Christmas trees to stand up, you're better off to leave them to dry again. Now I leave these to dry for about an hour. So I have yet another piece that I'm keeping. I have yet another piece under here, and I'll make some Christmas trees out of this. Now this is being rolled, I would say more than half an hour, or 3/4 of an hour easy, and I've just put it between 2 thin pieces. You know those sheets that you have for putting your work into, and you just put it in between them and leave it, and it will stay like this for you. Gives you time to then get all your cutting out done. Now, some of the Christmas trees I need 3 pieces for. And if you see what I'm doing, cut, move, and then with my finger, just push it. And there it is. Now I'm cutting like 6 of these because I just want to show you a little trick I have. And like so. Right. Back under there, anything that you have, keep it. Don't screw it up just yet. I've got on here little pieces of kitchen sponge really. So pop one of your trays on here. Use a flat knife, the rough side of your flat knife, and press, and it will make it easy to curve for you. So if you put that there, and you curve that one there, and then number 2, and curve, and pop onto the side. Best to do them on your former pad as well, because your former pad is quite good for allowing the air to circulate, and so therefore it lets these dry a bit quicker. So there's number 3. I just need number 3 to be flat. But on the second one, I'm taking away like so, and exactly the same thing, just bend, you know, curve 2 and leave to dry. And my poor little Christmas trees are always wonky, but one of my favorite things about Christmas is my Christmas tree. So, and there. And again, if you want these to stand for, and especially for a long time, make them out of flour paste. They always stay better for you, longer for you, if you do them out of flour paste. So that would be my Christmas trees that I've got ready. And I need a few more Christmas trees that I'm going to just do, use for around this side. And so, for exactly that reason, I'm just going to take my next piece of paste and I always think that if you stop talking, the long silences are a bit eerie. So right, so we have 5. Just one of these. I'm just going to take that off, and you'll see why when I bring it together. I always think now, once you've done all that and you've got it all like nicely setting off and so on, and all ready to go on the cake, it really is so quick. It's very satisfying to see a result so quickly. Which, now if you roll a piece of paste, just roll 1 strip of paste. I take my knife and scriber, and I just run the knife and scriber each side of it, like so. And then I cut down the middle, and that's going to make the snow at the base of my cake for me. So onto here, I've got some liquid in my pen. You can use water onto the bottom. And there's like a little snowdrift on the bottom. Round the side. I have a little join here. Use your knife and scriber and push in at it. And don't worry too much about it because I'm going to cover it up anyway. So now I want to get my icicles on here. So that's one of the things that you think, oh, that's a really difficult cutter to use, but it isn't. So have your piece of paste, take your icicle cutter, pop it on your piece of paste. Now all I'm going to look for is make sure fingers right down, push onto it, let it move, and then into the middle and move. So you know that you can hear that scratching on that board, and that it should ensure that everything is done for you. I need this piece to stay icicle-like. Trim the top of it. Trim the top of that. Take away what you don't need. And you start to get all your little pieces. Don't fuss over it too much, because I imagine they are icicles. And again on the top of here, just trim and remove. Same on this side. You can see there's not much to trim on this side, but if you trim, making sure. And here's the magic as well. Give it a little tap. There we are, out of his. When I tap anything, I always have, I have my cutter in my hand, and if you make sure that the actual, it's quite loose, you need to keep it quite loose. And if you make sure that it's quite loose on here, that as this hits the board, so does your hand hit the board. And they will just pop anything that's in there, pop out for you. Anything that's left in there, just tidy it out with your knife and scriber. A little bit of moisture around, where's our snowdrift now? Around here. If you use alcohol, don't worry too much about where it goes, because it will evaporate quickly. And water will evaporate, it just takes a bit longer to evaporate. And then onto here. And what I'm really watching is to just keep this as straight as I possibly can. Where the snowflake shards are, you don't need to make sure that these are even. And if you look, the different sides of this have different shapes to it. So if you put on nice sharp pieces and then just keep working all the way. Now that's one side of it, and then this is the other side. What I'm going to do is make that just a tad shorter so it's not so deep. And you can see how simple this is to just work your way with whatever it is, the design and pattern that you want. These go right on the bottom as well of the cake, so you can have the shards coming up if you want. And that makes it nice and easy to get on. Now the reason this is breaking up as it is because it's not flour paste. This is sugar paste. And I don't mind having sugar paste around like this, where you're going to cut it open and you can eat all of this with it. So you can eat everything that's going on the cake, but it's nice to be able to, for the children as well, to just be able to eat most everything on the cake. Now to tidy this up, I like to just trim it off. So in my bag I have a little royal icing with like a number 32 little shell nozzle. And just around the top of this, give it a tiny little shell. Doesn't have to be too neat again. But it just trims it off nicely for you, doesn't it? Right the way. Now I'm just going to do the same thing around the bottom. to give it that little tidy piece. And you say I've got a number 42, but whatever, even number 5s, whatever, just a plain nozzle if that's what you want to do, can be used. So you just need a little tidy effect. Well, it's hiding edges, isn't it? That's what it's doing for you. Hiding edges. Now when you've got that done, you want to put your Christmas trees on. So I've got this Christmas tree and I'm going to stand it here. And put a little bit of moisture on. Just going to turn it around to make sure I've got it straight. Yeah. And then I've got this Christmas tree that I just cut the end off. So a little bit of moisture onto it. So when you stand it together with this one, they just have that different height. It just gives it a little bit more character. So, and then of course, wherever you choose, in and out, you can put some little snowflakes here and there on it to just putting moisture on them and then just popping them where I want them. And then of course a Christmas tree will go wherever you want it. Now when it comes to the top, we've done our Merry Christmas over there, so that's the thing that needs to dry the most. So I'm going to just put these Christmas trees together. Now you saw me making these, so they haven't been put, done very long. This is royal icing again, but this it hasn't got a nozzle in it, and it's let down like I've made it a bit more watery than the one I've used for this. So this one, you get the straight. Then you get this one that you've curved. Put your little royal icing down the center of this. Now you can use glue for this. It just takes a little bit longer to set off for you. So if your royal icing wants to play the game, of course. On the back there. Pick it up. And on it goes. Once you've done that, you're able to stand them up. So you can do the next one and allow that to stand. I just need something to wipe my finger with. And here it is. Along the back. And stand it up. Pinch the tops together. And then make sure it's opened for you, where you want it to be open. You can see now that that's a nice little Christmas tree there for you. And the taller one, I tend to put, I'll do it on there again, go right to the bottom. Pinching so as it stands for you. And when you want to put this together, I use the hole in here because sometimes that helps to just let it set off a little. So pop that in there for a little few minutes because you want that trunk on the tree left. And then do your second one. Now I'm not going to ice the trunk, just the tree. And down it will go into the hole. Pop it here. Okay, and with these trees, I'm using those to just enhance around the side again. So this little one will go on here. And then this little one, exactly what we've done with the first lot. These just need to go so. And a little piece of royal icing. And then, so on the side, you get that little bit of 3D as well. Just stand them out. See how quick that is. This one here, I'm going to leave them standing just for a few minutes until I actually see if I can get my Merry Christmas on. Now, Merry Christmas, remember, needs to be done with flour paste, and it needs to be dried off for a little while. So this one might play up on me, but we'll have a look and see. Wherever the Merry Christmas goes on, wherever it touches on your, it does need to be dry, a little piece more. Wherever it touches on your cake, that's where I actually put. And here's us professionals, here's one I made earlier. So wherever it touches on your cake, put your little royal icing on there. And then that will help that to stay there for you. Like so. When I want my Christmas trees up, I will put some snow on here. And with this one, open the bottom. Open up the bottom of it. And you'll invariably get it to stay standing for you. I'm hoping it just goes on. If you're still a bit wary of it, don't hesitate to put something there to allow it to lean against, and then it'll dry off for you. So we'll leave that one for a minute, and then this little one will just sit directly onto the cake. So if you want them directly on the cake, of course you can do that. If you want them to be different heights but directly onto the cake, just cut on when you do this, and then when you have this one, instead of just taking off the stem, take off half of the bottom, and then it's even shorter than that one, so you can have them different heights. So my original cake, I have 3 different heights. Now onto the actual cake, put some snowdrops, just a little snow falling on here. Do you ever notice when you're trying to do it for someone else, it never quite is the same as if you're doing it for yourself? And the same on here, just a few little snowdrops falling here and there. And a few snowflakes to finish off. And you can even have a snowflake just balancing on one of your Merry, like so. Let me just put a little piece of icing on here. Always it's handy to have something to stick to, isn't it? And like so. And that should be it. I'm going to remove this, and that's standing where I want it to stand. So I hope that's a nice, quick and easy Christmas cake for you to have a go at, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.